Hey guys, welcome back. This is a continuation of our mining series. If you wish to catch up on what we covered last time in regards to mechanics, go watch that first. In this video, we'll be deep diving into ore saturation per region, overall composition of the region in regards to profession levels, and best regions to start and end. So let's get into it. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to show us the support and to stay up to date on all future New World content. For the dataset I used, I literally counted every ore in every region and I logged it. I compiled all the data into a spreadsheet, which is actually available to you. It's in the link down below in the description. So if you'd like to see other types of like harvestables and other items, let's get this video to 100 likes and I'll do just that. For today's format, we're going to go over the best locations for each mining level, then dive deeper into the numbers and the stats and see what they're telling us. Granted, this info is based off the beta and is subject to change, so hopefully very little is adjusted, because I really don't want to count hundreds of ores again, and I mean it was hundreds. As a disclaimer, we are only covering the ores that are unlocked via the mining profession, so others like saltpeter and diamonds are not covered in this video. I'll be throwing a lot of numbers at the screen along with graphs, so feel free to pause at any time to digest everything I'm going over. There's a lot of information and it might take a couple minutes to register, but I'm going to try my best to keep it short, but give everyone the detail that there is. In total, there are 2,416 ores on the map of Eternum at this moment, with iron consisting of 33% of all ores and the rest sitting about 10%. As a side note, alchemy stones are not included in this dataset as they are very hard to find and catalog every location, as there are multiple SKUs for this ore. So moving on, with Weaver's Fen holding about 11% of total ores, being the most fruitful of all locations. However, Weaver's Fen only has a slight edge. Eden Grove has the worst saturation, sitting at merely 2.8%. Safe to say, stay away from here if you plan on mining. So now that we covered the best place for ores, the worst place for ores, let's kind of break it down into ore levels now. So let's go ahead and start with the level gap 0 to 45. This will account for 62.4% of all mineable ores. In this category, you'll be able to mine iron, silver, oil, and gold. Your best location starting off will be Monarch's Bluff, accounting for 203 ores and 150 of that being iron. Then once you get oil unlocked, the next best location will be Weaver's Fen, accounting for the majority of the map's oil at 109 and 26 gold. There are other locations that carry higher gold output, such as Great Cleave and Brightwood, but we are talking about 10 extra ores, so if there's a particular one you're in search of, again, reference the chart provided. Moving on to level 50 to 100 will give you access to alchemy stones and Starmetal. But as I noticed previously, we won't be going over alchemy stones, so this will just cover Starmetal. The best two locations at basically a tie equaling a difference of 1 is Great Cleave and Morningdale. All other regions you're looking at are roughly half of those two locations for total Starmetal ore available. So that one was obviously the quickest and shortest because we're only talking about one. So let's go ahead and move on to the end game. 105 to 175, which will grant access to lodestone, platinum, and orichalcum. Here we'll see Great Cleave still being the top producer, with Ebonscale Reach accounting for 1 extra ore. Now that we covered the best locations and quantity in these regions, let's dive into what the data is telling us about ore dispersion. Oil and orichalcum will be the most sought after minerals in New World, with oil accounting for 8.2% of all ores, orichalcum being the lowest saturated at a 7.5%, and also being the hardest to level up to achieve. Some things we can note from this, however, oil and orichalcum have the highest concentration of any mineral except iron in the tightest bunch, meaning you don't have to travel more than a dozen steps to get your next mine. Iron does account for 33% of all ores. Makes sense since you'll need to combine iron with other ores to make more advanced ignites such as steel, so it's going to be a heavily used ore, so make sure to stockpile up on some of these because you're going to need it for the long term. It's also safe to say regions such as Endergrove may not provide much in regards to mining, but it might be more fruitful in harvesting, which if we get this video to 100 likes, I'll start working on that ASAP. But it only makes sense if some of these regions that aren't producing any ores will produce other types of materials and items. This video hopefully betters your journey in Eternum, and hopefully you found it useful. If so, hit that subscribe, and until next time, guys, it's Feb.